Well, first off, I don't think the movement would be going, we wouldn't even be hearing about it if the media wasn't paying so much attention to it. I respect First Amendment rights, but I don't know, this is nothing but a left-wing sit-in as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
And I would, as the top cop, I would respect their right to, to assemble and all that. But I think a lot's being made out of it over nothing.
Okay. Can you tell us what you know about Agenda 21? In line with this, what actions would you take to protect people and private property?
Agenda 21, that is a left-wing agenda of the United Nations. The details of which I don't know, but I've heard enough to know that I don't like it. As the sheriff, I don't know what I can do about it, but what was the last part of the question?
What actions would you take to protect people and private property? There's a lot of eminent domain and...
Yeah, absolutely. There was a case in New London, Connecticut in 2005 where the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that it was okay for the city of New London, Connecticut to take Suzette Kelso's house and turn it over to a developer to increase economic development in downtown New London. I was mortified when I read that decision. I was in the legislature then, and I immediately proposed a bill to change the Florida Constitution so that no government in Florida, city, county, or state, could take anybody's land for economic reasons. It had to be for a true public purpose. That proposal didn't go very far, but I was a big proponent of changing the statute, and we did. We pushed hard, and now the law in Florida is that the government cannot take people's land away from them under the guise of eminent domain for purposes of economic development. I mean, that's socialism of the first order. And if you haven't read that case, I invite you to read it.
Describe martial law, how it could come about, and if you have considered such a possibility in Pinellas County.
Well, no, I've never considered such a possibility in Pinellas County. Martial law is when the civilian authorities have lost control and somebody decides the military ought to take over. And I'm pretty much against that.
Okay.
I don't think that military forces should be used at all for civilian enforcement within our borders. Now, there are times when local law enforcement is called upon to use the National Guard, but that's a little bit different.
Describe, in your opinion, the success or failure of Pinellas homeless housing strategies such as Safe Harbor, your prediction on the growth of this population, and the sheriff's role in management.
Well, that's a new program which I had nothing to do with. The only thing I know about is what I've read in the paper, but I do get a lot of talk and feedback from friends and supporters that are involved in law enforcement. And the first thing I would do, I would take a real close look at the cost of it, because I'm hearing that the sheriff's office is not really telling the whole story about how much it costs. They're not adding the fully loaded cost. For example, I understand that the sheriff's office has been saying that it costs $126 a day to keep somebody in jail, but only $6 or something like that to keep people at Pinellas Hope.
I saw that.
I mean, those are numbers that, Now, somebody's going around saying that if I'm elected sheriff, I'm going to close Pinellas Hope. That's not true. I don't know what I'm going to do. I will take a close look at it. The concept is not all that bad, but I'm not so sure that, it's a success that they claim. The idea is, the sheriff doing that is to cut down on the jail population. Well, until you start closing units at the jail and laying off employees, you haven't saved any money. So that's kind of an artificial thing that they're touting. But I will look at it.
Well, you were so efficient, you have time at the end. Would you like to give some closing remarks?
Well, again, thank you very much for having me here. I invite you to look at my record, and you see what you're going to get in the future. Yeah, again, the 16 years that I ran the sheriff's office, I moved it forward that entire time. It went from a agency with a bad reputation to one with an excellent reputation. I invite you to look at my credentials. I've been there, I've done that. And I've got a record you can look at. You know, it's easy to run for office and say things, but when you got a record, I just invite you to look at it.
Okay. Have you seen this book?
I don't think so. I know about Sheriff Mack, but I don't think I've seen this. Can I have it?
Yes, you may.
Any more questions? If
No.
we got time, I'd be glad to take them.
Yeah.
One question. Do you have a website that we could look up?
Yes, ma'am. EverettRice.com.
Now, you have materials out on the table? Have you left materials?
I'll make sure there's some out there. But,
Yeah, some
I mean,
palm cards.
we can talk about endorsements and all that stuff, but I'm endorsed by State Attorney General Pam Bondi, Senator Dennis Jones, and a whole host of elected people that have joined my campaign by, you know, hosting or contributing. Almost 800 individuals have donated my campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands have signed my petition, which I'm going to ask you all to do if you will. I'll leave some petitions there. That's so I can get on the ballot without paying the filing fee. Incidentally, most of the filing fee for a partisan office goes to the party. But if I get on the ballot by petition, then I don't have to pay the $9,000. That's what the filing fee is. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we don't take questions from the floor. Sorry.
The martial law, I'm sure that that probably won't happen. But what I see is with the Occupy Tampa, Boston, New York, is definitely a left-wing organization. This has been orchestrated by the unions. It's been orchestrated by progressives, communists, socialists. Take your pick, it's the same old trick. But what I found out is that on the health care bill that Obama and all of his left-wingers passed, on page 614, it creates Reserve Corps. The Reserve Corps will be appointed by the President. Then there's a special corps which has to be approved by the Senate. And you know, in time of martial law, there's not going to be time for a Senate approval. So who is Mr. Obama going to pick? I think these things are sort of dovetailing. And I think they're waiting for something to happen. They're pushing it to happen. And then if we have Obama creating this corps with no qualifications, it says, on page 614.
Right.
Who's it going to be? It's going to be unionists. It's going to be people like Acorn and other organizations that are extreme left wing. And that's something that.
Yeah, thank you, Philip, thank you.
Well, I can comment on it. I think I understand where he's going.
Yeah,
First off, that's only one of 1,000 reasons to repeal Obamacare.
yeah.
And it's just one of a million reasons to get rid of Obama.
Very well put.
Well, you don't have any argument there. But we thank you very much.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you so much. And again, we thank you for your service, Mr. Rice. We thank you for your past service.